Let's take a look at AutoCAD's Draw and Modify tools, and go over a few tips when using them. Basic navigation: hold down the middle mouse wheel to pan left and right, scroll wheel to zoom in and out. We're going to start here with the line tool. Create a straight line. Many ways to create a line in AutoCAD. One of the simplest ways is to specify the first point. So we can do coordinate entry from 0, 0. You'll see it places that at the origin. And then the next request is to specify next point. Again, we can type in our coordinates, right click or hit enter, and there you have it. To exit the line tool, press enter or escape. There you have it. When we select the line, we see it has those properties going from 0, 0 to 5, 5. The simplest way to draw a line in AutoCAD is just to click where you want to start the line, point in the direction you'd like your line to go, and type the distance, hit enter. Direct entry method. As you see here, we can use our snaps and our grips to align ourselves and lay out some easy geometry. In addition to the simple single segment line tool, we have the Polyline tool. This tool allows us to create a polygon, a series of lines, all connected, creating one entity. From this entity, we can pull various values like perimeter, area. Becomes very useful. To access the properties of a polyline or any entity in AutoCAD, simply select it, right click, and choose Properties. Of course, if we're out to draw a rectangle, we could always just use the Rectangle tool. Again, creating a four-sided polygon, and in the same way we can select it, right click, Properties, gather the area, the length, and so forth. In addition to the rectangle command, under its drop down you'll find the polygon command, where you can create hexagons, octagons, etc. Basic ways to draw an arc: start, center, end angle, all varying based on what information you have about the arc you're trying to create. When constructing geometry in AutoCAD, use its built-in inferencing and snap features for ease of construction. By just hovering over endpoints, I'm able to align myself and create nice, crisp angles in the desired geometry that I want. I'm attempting to draw a circle here, but I can't get it at the center point here. Well, that's where we go into AutoCAD snaps. Here, we can select from midpoint, center, the geometric center of an object, the four quadrants of a circle, the intersection of two entities, perpendicular, tangent being the most often used. As you see, as I hover slowly, the green icon lights up and it tells me what type of snap point I've created. Simply click, drag, and there I have a circle at the midpoint of my rectangle. Again, like the polyline and the rectangle, the circle has properties. And the similar click and drag out method to the circle, we can also create elliptical shapes. We can create them from the center points, or we can create them from the axis ends. Specify endpoint of axis, and just simply drag to create the desired shape. Again, I can select the ellipse, right click, properties, find all the information I need about this entity. And that's what separates technical drawing from your basic art piece. It's the precision that's applied, for it's going to be a constructed or manufactured work someday. Now let's move on to the modify tools. There's two ways to get things in motion. We can either select our entities and then select the command and perform our action, or we can select the command and then select our entities. The base point is the point about which you are grabbing to move or to copy or to scale and stretch your object. When selecting a modify command first, AutoCAD is going to ask you to select your objects. You must close this selection in order to proceed. In order to close the selection, press enter or right click. Then you will be allowed to modify your object. The trim tool can be tricky at times. It consists of selecting a cutting edge and entities to be cut. The first selection is the cutting edge. It's the knife. The object to be cut will be selected next. When connecting geometry, sometimes the snaps can get a little tricky. Here I'm wanting to connect a line tangent to two circles. However, with center snaps and quadrant snaps on, I'm unable to do so. I turn them off and still have difficulty because my perpendicular snap is in the way. So just pay attention to your snaps and you can get it all squared away, creating some pretty smooth geometry. The trim tool is used so often in AutoCAD, you'll get the hang of it fairly quickly. The first selection is your cutting edge. Close selection and then select the entities you'd like to cut. The array. The array allows you to make patterns. There's rectangular patterns, there's polar array for circular patterns. Simply select array, select your object and right click. This menu allows you to input the desired number of rows or columns. We can also grab the blue arrows known as grips and drag to the desired number of rows or column. To increase the spacing, simply enter the desired spacing in the between fields in the array menu. The mirror function works by selecting your objects that you'd like to mirror, closing selection, and then drawing a mirror line. For closing out the mirror command, it asks if you'd like to keep or throw away the existing selection. Please select yes or no based upon the desired results. After mirroring an array, each array is its own entity, able to be modified to your desired specification. The brunt of these modified tools can be accessed very quickly with a simple right click, speeding up your design process. Now let's put all those draw and modify tools we just discussed into action and make a little something. The offset command is your best friend. It works by simply inputting an offset distance, or you can graphically click 2 points to input the distance that you'd like to select your object or offset your object. So after inputting this distance, simply select your object and then hover to the side that you'd like it to be offset. Real simple. Now, something not used as often, people forget about because it's hidden under the trim, but the cousin of the trim is the extend. It works by selecting the object you'd like to extend to. Close selection, and then select the objects you would like to extend. Let's finish off this little nub here with a 2-point circle. A nice way to get quick tangential surfaces. Next up, we have the rotate tool. The rotate tool works by selecting an axis of rotation, a base point. In this case, we'll select the center of this circle here. We'll turn on our center snap so we can select it. We get in there, and there you see we have it. Now, we want to keep our original object, so we'll select copy, and this will allow us to duplicate it while rotating. The hatch tool is another fun one. This allows you to color, fill in, put a pattern on your drawing. Simply select hatch, select your desired pattern, use the scale feature to set your desired scale, and you're rocking and rolling. One thing to note, you must have a closed shape. This is where the advantage of polylines, rectangles, and just keep a clean drawing. Use your trim, use your extend, use your snaps, and rock out on some AutoCAD. You are a technical drawer. You can do amazing things. Now, if you take your time, you can do more stuff like this. Over here, I took my time. Wasn't rushing through it. Rectangles. Basic circles. Take a circle and offset it numerous times inside of itself. I copied that circle over and over and over again to create this little gap here. I had a larger circle and then used the trim tool. Stuff like this, more rectangles. To create that little arc, another offset circle. Polyline, then I offset the polyline. Close the shape, and then use the mirror tool to flip it around real quickly, creating a claw-like shape. Don't like the size of it, use the stretch feature and boom, quickly bring this thing to scale. The pattern at the base is created just with drawing a simple line, using the offset tool, jumping into trim, trimming the edges just to get one of the basic shapes down, and then using your copy tool to get nice, easy, clean copy. Use the base point of one and then copy to the next base point of the other. Come to the bottom, use your trim tool again, clean it up. There you go, man. This is AutoCAD. Get down, make it clean, make it nice. You're a technical designer, you're a graphic designer, you're just a designer, man and girl, whatever. You're amazing.